Yeah, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it turns out climate change is real. They were right on that one. It's gotten kind of bad, folks. Like a lot, very bad. We're having sort of a water mismanagement problem. You know, the Earth, when it comes to matter, the Earth is more or less a closed system. You know, like energy comes in from the sun, and we lose it through dissipation at the upper reach of the atmosphere. When it comes to how much water there is on Earth, pretty much a consistent thing, more or less. Which means that when you have droughts in one part of the world, you're going to have undroughts in other parts of the world. Let's get to the first problem first. You've probably seen China's experiencing a drought. The Yangtze River has dried up, which, in addition to being terrifying, has also sparked a shortage of hydropower. This is very bad. The Yangtze River is very, very large. Record-breaking drought has caused some rivers in China, including parts of the Yangtze, to dry up, affecting hydropower, halt shipping, and forcing major companies to suspend operations. You gotta understand, folks, a river drying up is a huge, huge deal. Not only does that cut off the energy that you get from the dams, it also means you can't use them as a shipping lane. Like, it's a big deal. Like, it's genuinely like a civilizational, like, hit right there. Yeah, not good. The loss of water flow to China's extensive hydropower system has sparked a grave situation in Sichuan, which gets more than 80% of its energy from hydropower. On Sunday, the provincial government declared it was at the highest warning level of particularly severe, with water flow to Sichuan's hydropower reservoirs dropping by half. The demand for electricity has increased this summer, of course, due to climate change, obviously. More people are running their AC, so they need more power and they have less of it. The Yangtze is the world's third largest river, providing drinking water to more than 400 million Chinese people, and is the most vital waterway to China's economy. It's also crucial to the global supply chain, but this summer it has reached record low water levels, with entire sections and dozens of tributaries drying up. Water flow on the main trunk is more than 50% below the average of the last 5 years. Shipping routes in the middle and lower sections have also closed. So it's bad in every possible way. Drinking water shortage means shortage for water for agriculture, means can't be used as a shipping lane, which means trade gets cut off to areas that are already suffering from low power because the dams, reservoirs aren't being filled properly. It's catastrophic. In the city of Chongqing, the water level dropped to reveal previously submerged Buddhist statues thought to be around 600 years old. Wow. Well, they're pretty. I wish we couldn't see them, though. So, that's cool. Not the only place this has happened, by the way. It's a global drought. Drought reveals several Nazi battleships sunk in Europe's Danube River. These battle warships affect river traffic, whose main arteries run via Germany, Italy, and France when the water level drops. So yeah, there's your symbolism. I know writers who employ subtext and they're all cowards. The climate change causes the rivers to dry up, revealing the ruins of fascism. Can you imagine having a shipping boat that you need to pilot around the sunken Nazi vessel that has reemerged due to record low levels? Jesus. At present, Europe is experiencing record high temperatures and facing the risk of drought in the entire region. In a recent finding, more than 20 German warships that were sunk during World War II have reemerged in the Danube River in Serbia. The warships still contain ammunition and explosives that are stretched along the river near Prahovo, Serbia's river port town. Whew. This is real. They're not just a bit above the waterline, too. They're dozens of feet above the water. That's how low it's gotten. Those sandbars shouldn't even be visible. And they're full of explosives. So that's cool. Not the end of it either. Dinosaur prints, old bones, and hunger stones. Here's what's being found in dried up rivers. We have some ancient Roman architecture right here. The Tiber River has rapidly shrunk in Italy's worst drought in 70 years. Low water levels have revealed two of the ancient piers of Nero's bridge. It's like the ruins of the old world are reaching up to claim us, to make us join them in the tracks of history. It's like death itself is reaching from the riverbeds to pull us down into the abyss. The ghosts of the past weigh upon our ankles like chains. There's the warships along the Danube. In Spain, the dolmen of Guadalpero, dubbed the Spanish Stonehenge, exposed due to receding waters. The stone circle, which dates back to 5000 BCE, was submerged in 1963 due to flooding. Since then, it's only been visible 4 times. But with the Iberian Peninsula the driest it's been in the past 1,200 years, more sightings could be on the horizon in the future. Hunger stones in the Rhine. Hunger stones are stones with engravings to commemorate famine. When you can see the stones, it means you're in trouble. That's the point. You shouldn't see them. They're ill omens. Here are hunger stones. How old are these? A lengthy drought in Europe has exposed carved boulders known as hunger stones that have been used for centuries to commemorate historic droughts and warn of their consequences. One of the stones in the banks of the Elbe is carved with the words, "Wenn du mich siehst, dann weine." If you see me, weep. Cool. It expressed that drought had brought a bad harvest, lack of food, high prices, and hunger for poor people. Before 1900, the following droughts are commemorated on the stone: 1417, 1616, 1707, 1746, 1790, 1800, 1811, 1830, 1842, 1868, 1892, and 1893. Nothing in the past century. As you can see, they are fully visible. Hope there's room on that rock to carve something new. There are articles all over the place about this stuff. How confident would you feel piloting a shipping freighter on waters this low? It's like if the sun evaporates just one more droplet of water out of this river, we're gonna hit ground beneath us, you know? We're gonna beach shipping ship, yeah. Record drought, heat wave dries up river basins and areas of China. I just thought you guys would appreciate this picture of the riverbed of the Jialing River in Chongqing, inland China, as of 5 days ago. It's bone dry there, you know, not even regular dry. Just nothing, just no life, just incapable of sustaining life.
This morning.
Oh, well, we're keeping the bad news running. This isn't due to a drought. I think this is due to a mechanical problem. Jackson, Mississippi to lose running water for an unknown amount of time, impacting up to 180,000 people. Seems one of the pumps at the water treatment facility was damaged, which is not great. The city won't be able to produce enough water for serious needs, including fighting fires and flushing toilets. Important to remember that in addition to the drought problem we're experiencing, our ability to get access to clean drinking water is also kind of predicated on reliable infrastructure that is itself damaged by factors associated with climate change, you know? Like, the worse the world gets, the harder it's going to be to maintain this infrastructure as our economy falters, you know, as our systems break down, and then it'll get worse and worse and worse and worse. Water drought also happening in northern Mexico. Yeah, we haven't gotten one from Mexico. Why not? Mexico Drought. Sure. Can't get much can't get much worse. Love that. That's a year's change right there. I'm kidding, of course. It can always get worse. Woo! 2021 to 2022. My man, the water cycle. What are you doing? There's 1 year. Water's become a sacred commodity in northern Mexico. Reservoirs have been hitting the bottom of their basins. Taps have been running dry for millions of people in the city of Monterrey, where the water shortage was called a matter of national security. Water bills have skyrocketed. So that's cool. That's phenomenal stuff right there. Oh yeah, here we go. The Virgin River. Oh hey, it's you guys. Could you maybe get it up? Read the next paragraph. People have sabotaged pipes that could divert water to the cities. Truck drivers delivering water have been kidnapped. Ranchers in rural areas have lost livestock or sold their herds prematurely because they can't feed them. People are making lines to obtain a few liters of water. I mean, we are genuinely talking about like apocalyptic conditions around the world right now. Like right now. Currently. In the United States, we are lucky. The United States is a bountiful land. It is large and verdant and full of many natural resources. We're going to be one of the last people to feel the effects of climate change. We're already feeling it, mind you. Record heat waves. Phoenix, Arizona was unlivable before and now is even more unlivable. We're still feeling it, but we're better situated than a good part of the world. Better here than Central America or Southeast Asia, or hell, most of Europe too. We have the Great Lakes for however long they last. How is the IRC responding to East Africa's worst drought in 40 years? International Rescue Committee. Not pictured here. Water. Something that this person and these goats need to live, I assume. Ethiopia emergency water trucking. Sheesh. Malnutrition treatment. Hold on. Global heat records 2022. The July 2022 land and ocean surface temperature for the globe was 1.57 degrees Fahrenheit above the 20th century average of 60.4. That is really bad. There's only so much you can sugarcoat it. We're only going one direction here. So this is on 19th of July 2022. These dots here represent the approximation of how close they are to the record heat set for the month, or like daily average in the month for July in that area. So the yellow dot is within 3 degrees Fahrenheit of daily record high. Orange is tying daily record high. Red is breaking daily record high. It also can mean tying or breaking monthly record high, apparently. They look very similar, those symbols. And the black X is tying/breaking all-time record high. You got a lot of that right here in England. So that's cool. Central England mean temperature. Sheesh. The blue line right here, this jaggedy line, is the current temperature that's being followed. The pink right there is the highest temperature ever recorded for that day of that month. You see? It's like an average belt. The average is right here, and the pink represents the highest, and the blue just shot up and hit a new top point. So anyway, as water dries up all over the world, it has to go somewhere, right? Can't go nowhere. We have a closed system, not in energy, but in matter. It hit Pakistan this time. It hit Pakistan. Pakistan has been hit by a record-setting monsoon. The ingrates have taken all the world's water. As it turns out, in excess, not actually that helpful. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres on Tuesday warned the world is sleepwalking into environmental destruction as he launched a flash $160 million appeal for flood-ravaged Pakistan. By the way, the real number on the damage is going to come up to maybe 500 times this. More than 1,100 people have been killed and 33 million others impacted in one of the country's worst monsoon seasons in over a decade.
Families scramble on dry ground to meet a waiting rescue helicopter. It's just one of many rescue missions taking place in Pakistan, parts of which have been deluged by floods after weeks of unprecedented monsoon rains. The Pakistani government says more than 30 million people across the country have been impacted by the floods. The operations by air critical to transporting the stranded to relief centers, and also dropping supplies to areas not accessible by boat or roads, with Pakistani Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif joining the effort over the weekend. The government says it needs...
So to be clear, we have some data here. We love our data, don't we, folks? To be perfectly clear, okay? Millions of people are homeless right now. Something like a third of the country of Pakistan is underwater. That's not a joke. I really properly mean that. Rainfall was so large and so significant that something like a third of the previously occupied territory is just not usable anymore. You have 15% of their population homeless, tens of millions of people displaced. Is climate change to blame? Riveting question, that one. Yeah. Really makes you wonder. The climate change minister says more than a third of the country has been completely submerged by the heaviest recorded monsoon rains in a decade. Yeah, right there. This isn't like some flippant YouTuber exaggeration. The climate change minister is describing it as a third of the country is submerged. You can see, here we go. Rainfall well above average in most regions. Rainfall 2022 compared to average rainfall. So as you can see up here, the blue line is slightly higher than it probably should be at the moment. Is this showing what I think it's showing? This is the Zoom Earth map with live satellite data over the world. You can see the flood from space looking over Pakistan right here. Let me see if I can't find a satellite image of Pakistan when it's not like this. Wall Street Journal provides this juxtaposition from satellite. So I looked up Pakistan satellite photo, and I'm having trouble finding an older one because all of the satellite photos are from right now with captions like, "You can see the flood from space." Oh, right. Yeah, Google Earth. Hold on. All right. Well, see, over here in this current live update satellite map of Pakistan, I'm observing what seems to be a track of water so large that it can be seen from space, like the creation of a new lake, almost. And on a not recently updated it looks normal. There's a date option right there. Oh, I'm stupid. Only goes back a couple of days. Look, whatever. I think the point has been sufficiently demonstrated. Let's not let my technological ineptitude get in the way of what is actually a very serious problem. More photos. Again, we're talking tens of millions of people displaced here, including extremely handsome gentlemen like this fella, if that makes you any more sympathetic. Yeah, guys, I don't know. The world's kind of ending a little bit. Jesus Christ. A third of Pakistan is underwater as deadly floods leave desperate residents facing doomsday. I want to be clear, by the way. When I say the world's kind of ending a bit, I want to be I'm being glib here. Humanity is going to survive no matter what we do to the environment. We're just too smart. We've left ourselves too many tools. Even if 90% of humanity gets gutted off in a war and climate crisis, there will be humans, and we owe it to those humans, even if there's not very many of them, to do as good of a job as we can. They'll rebuild civilization. We are persistent and tenacious. It's going to take a hell of a lot more than average temperature changes to oh, F? Oh, why don't I just look at YouTube chat? SORP. When Vaush says humanity, he means rich white Americans. I just earlier was talking about how America benefits, our class position and our geographic position benefits. What do you mean? Okay, look, guys, I just want to be clear, okay? Doomer fatalism is not an option here, all right? No matter how bad things are, you have a moral obligation to do what you can to make sure they don't turn out as bad as they could be. Please understand this, all right? Now, I can be glib about it, oh, the world's ending, whatever. And don't get me wrong, it's going to be bad. It's going to be really, really bad. But I want you to ask yourself, do you think there's a meaningful difference between a world dealing with climate crisis that is absorbed into bitter fascist nationalist infighting, or a world which is not? I think there's a significant difference there. I think that the predominant fascist ideology, if brought about in a climate apocalyptic world, would make things a lot worse. There are always things we can do to improve the situation. So don't mistake glibness as resignation, because they're not the same thing. I think it's okay to make comments like that, but then go, oh yeah, the world's ending. We're going to do the best we can. That's how I feel. That's how you all should feel. Frankly, I don't have much patience for people who feel any other way, because I find doomerism to be a very frustrating and counterproductive attitude. Well, Vaush, it's easy to say that when you're in an amazing situation compared to the rest of us and can survive. Suck it up. Fuck you. The only reason you can say that we should do good things is because you're wealthy. Yeah, I am. And doesn't make what I'm saying any less right. Quit clinging to excuses. You're like an incel, like, well, your good advice, of course you'd believe that because you're good looking and tall. Like, shut the fuck up, okay? Don't use my class position as a justification for your cynicism, all right? By the way, keep in mind, not to mention, I'm of the opinion that climate crisis will lead to an upsurge in fascist activity. You think I'm any more likely to survive, that situation, because of my wealth? Do you think in rampant fascist activity, I'm like, who's like the first people we should kill? I mean, maybe a little. Guys, the first people they killed in Nazi Germany was the communists. You realize that, right? You're aware of the fact that there were communists with cultural power, the fact that they had cultural power did not make them less likely to be killed. It made them more likely to be killed. You realize that, right? I'm just saying. I'm just saying it's a dangerous world for all of us. No, well, I thought there'd be some kind of commentary over that. The point that I am so laboriously trying to arrive at here, apart from the anti-doomerism, which I maintain, is that it is a very dangerous world, and things are very bad right now, and they're going to continue to be very bad, and they're going to get worse with time. but we still have the potential to make things potentially not as bad as they would otherwise be. As broadly Westerners, the best way that we can do that is to make sure that progressives and socialists are the ones who are put into positions of political power, because they are generally far better disposed towards issues concerning international aid, migrant and refugee crises, and energy management. So that's the general thing that we can, push for at the moment. Obviously, there are more specifics, but while it is good if you choose to ditch your car in favor of a bike or drink through a paper straw or whatever, we all know that's not really the issue here. So